Hello, I'm Maria Hall Brown, and this is LA Currents. Like all businesses, the city of Los Angeles needs a lot of everything to operate. So when the T's need to be crossed and the I's need to be dotted, it's the General Services Department that makes sure the pens are there. I'm delighted to be joined by the General Manager of General Services, Tony Royster. So great to have you here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
I was absolutely taken aback of the scope of what General Services encompasses. I mean, the list is like from maintenance to salvage to publishing to custodial and on and on and on. It's almost like if anybody needs anything for any reason at any time, that's what General Services is there for. Is that an accurate assessment?
If you name it, we do it. Anything that you see out on the streets in a building that's related to the city of Los Angeles, somehow in some place, Department of General Services has touched that product, that street, that trash truck, whatever.
All right, so there's warehouses full of stuff. And say one of the city offices, the mayor's office calls up and says, I need that, he's calling your office. And so there's warehouses, there's trucks, I guess it's impossible to say this in a very succinct way, but what are some of the scopes? I kind of generalized, obviously maintenance and fleets and everything like that, but what are the different areas under General
Different
Services?
areas, you got like 5 major categories. You have like our property management. We manage close to 4,000 properties throughout the city. Probably close to about 50, 60 million square feet. We support LAPD, the fire department, all the city departments, Department of Transportation, Department of Recreation and Parks. We support them in everything, every supplies. For instance, you're talking about warehouses. We have over 70 warehouses where we distribute supplies throughout the city, from pens to fuel. For example, we purchase close to 14 million gallons of fuel a year. When it comes to fleet, we maintain 10,000 pieces of equipment, and a real special group of pieces of equipment we maintain close to 30 helicopters for LAPD, for the fire department, and also for DWP. When it comes to the fire department, the water dropping helicopters, we maintain those. And we're behind the scene, but people can understand, when it comes to purchasing the vehicles, the different uniforms, or bulletproof vests, whatever, for the police, we're the individuals behind the scene purchasing those equipment and supplies to make sure they can do their jobs.
So with COVID, how is that working? Because fleet services are the city vehicles that are going around. So has that had to adjust with the pandemic? Is it still?
It's somewhat of adjusted. The important thing is training our employees to operate in this environment with the pandemic, making sure they're having the appropriate distance or whatever. But all our employees, especially in fleet when it comes to equipment, they're showing up to work every day. We're making sure they're being trained with the appropriate protocols for COVID-19. And also we're providing the PPEs, the personal protective equipment they need to do their jobs. Because like I was saying, we have over 10,000 pieces of equipment, and the individual departments cannot operate without that equipment. You can have the people, but if you don't have the equipment, the people can't do their jobs. So we work very collaborative with every department, making sure we're keeping a certain level of availability for each department so they can do their jobs. Like, for instance, the Department of Transportation, they have 500 to 600 of the traffic officer vehicles. We maintain those. There's a certain, I think about 80–85% of those have to be available at one time to make sure they have enough vehicles for the people can perform their work.
How in the world did you ramp up so quickly to be able to take care of all of those pieces of equipment? Because, we know just in our own lives how we're dealing with sanitation and keeping things hopefully virus-free. That is quite an undertaking when you're responsible for all of this, for lack of a better word, stuff that has to stay safe for anybody who's using it, no matter who they are and what part of the day they're using it.
Like I said, we've trained our individuals and prepared for situations where we train them how to do the work safely. And it's something that you really don't do in the last minute, something you've done over months and months in training, prepare for situations of earthquakes and different mudslides, fires and whatever, and even the pandemic. Our people are prepared to move forward when that demand or request is coming through, working very closely with the personnel department, with the health services, with occupational safety, making sure that we're looking at our operations and making analysis that we're doing it in a very safe and sanitized way to protect our employees. We have either our custodians or a special contractor to come in and make sure they're specialized cleaning. For example, even before this, we purchased this robot. It's like it can come in and sanitize a area in a facility. It takes about 15-20 minutes and cleans probably, disinfects about 99% of all of the different type of infections. And one of those infections are the COVID-19.
Really?
We started that a year before this.
What prompted that purchase at the beginning? Just you had heard about it and
Well,
it sounded like something very innovative?
It's very interesting. It's a product that's usually equipment is used in hospitals. And because of our police officers that are always out into the community working, whatever, we want to make sure that the facilities are clean and sanitized and protect them and also protect their families.
How are we doing right now with emergency supplies? Because I know at the time of this taping, Ventura is having problems again getting PPEs and everything. So where are we with our supplies?
So we've established a contract with Honeywell to purchase 24 million N95 masks, and they're delivering close to 1 million masks every month, and the contract will expire, I think, March 2021, which hopefully by this time we will be out of the pandemic situation. At the same time, we still will have sufficient and enough of the N95 to support our essential workers, our police and firemen and city employees.
Then there's also some very practical things that you've done. I mean, installing charging stations for electric vehicles. How is that process going? And do you know how many we have yet?
Going very well. I said we've installed over 200 so far. We've got close to 95 at City Hall East on P2, P3, and P4, and we have another 300 that are in process to be installed in the near future. At the same time, the mayor has put a program together where anything that we buy is 50% that we buy is either electric or a hybrid type of vehicle. So we've purchased close to about 130 electric vehicles throughout the city, and we're looking to convert more like the DOT vehicles and different things. And I think we just purchased our first electric street sweeper.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Very quiet, however.
Yes.
You kind of have to have a little warning sign on there.
Yeah.
All of these technological advances that have simplified things and made things more coherent. Have you had to speed that up during COVID? Have you had?
Oh yes, because for instance, a lot of things that we would do face to face, it's now on Zoom, it's on different type of conference call, whatever.
Right, and those phone calls vary day to day, week to week,
yes,
given everything that's been going on. And one of the really nice things I think that you've alluded to, but maybe haven't clarified, is that Los Angeles defies being defined because it has so many different variables. But I think that there's a cohesion that is beginning here in Los Angeles, that there is a little bit more of a sense of identity, a sense of place, and a sense of personality that I think all of these things that you're talking about add to.
Yes, because we come all together as one city and one community, because it's like there's no place in the world like the city of Los Angeles. And like different cultures or whatever, but in the end, we're all one, and we're all one going the same direction. And we're very complimentary and grateful for our political leaders, our mayor, our council for leading around, because if the city of LA is hurting, everybody is hurting. So, and it's the same thing as the city family, we're all one family. And my job is to make sure the other departments have the supplies and equipment to do their job. If they're successful, I'm successful.